Good evening, fuckers, and yeah, brace yourself for a shock, but it's another Train Simulator Classic request video, just full of surprises. Um, this one was requested by Lightheworld, although this is not the original request he made. Originally, he wanted London to Darlington, and he said, well, yeah, what he actually said was he would have chosen that, but it was a bit too long. In fact, the only reason I couldn't do it is that, yes, it would involve 3 route DLCs, but I'm missing one of them, quite a big chunk of it actually. I'm missing the Peterborough to York section, but if there is a route that you want to see that involves more than one route DLC, then that is no problem. So check the request video, check the routes, and yeah, if it is if it is doable, because I have the whole thing connected, then yeah, go ahead and ask for it, no problem. Anyway, since he was unable to request that particular route, he came up with an alternative, significantly shorter, which is Brighton to London Victoria. Now, those who've been watching all of these videos, then firstly you have my sympathies, and secondly you'll probably be aware that this is a route that I've already done before in a previous video. Needless to say, it's going to be slightly different because there are a number of things about this request which are very similar to the last request that Lightheworld made, particularly the time of day. We are starting at 5 PM, but yeah, it's winter, so the light is really starting to fade by 5. And Brighton to London is going to take around 50 minutes, so by the time we arrive at London Victoria, the light is going to be, yeah, pretty low, shall we say. It is going to be clear skies, so yeah, we should be able to get a pretty good view of the sunset, so it should look alright. Now, as far as the train itself, he basically gave me free sort of choice, providing it was a high-speed train of some kind. Now, because the London-to-Brighton line uses the third rail electric power, it really does limit the choices that I have available as far as high speed. In fact, it limited to about 2, so I could have chosen the class 43, the Intercity 125, but that's the train I used in his last request, so I thought, right, we'll have something different. So we are taking the class 221, the Super Voyager. And the one we are using is has the Avanti livery and is a 10-car train, so it's pretty powerful. So that is the setup. There are no stops on the way. That was something else he requested. No stops. We just going straight from Brighton to London and trying to pass through the stations at the fastest speed we possibly can. Unfortunately, the fastest speed we can do on this line is 90, so we're not going to be going anywhere near the top speed of the Class 221, which can do 125 effortlessly. But we'll still be going as a reasonable rate anyway. Let's get things underway. And here we are. Let's get a look outside. Here is the old Class 221. Do like these things. And as you can see, the yeah, it is not a small train by any stretch. Yeah, 10 cars. And it is, yeah, it's an express. We are going straight to London without any stops. Let's get things set up. It's not going to take very long. So we'll set the lights to night because that is fast approaching, and that is about all we need to do. So let's just take one last look, see how the lights are. Yeah, it's the night running. Despite it being winter, there are certainly going to be some decent views, especially as we are going through the South Downs. So let's get underway. So the Class 221 is an EMU. Actually, no, what I'm talking about is a DEMU. In fact, if you want to be really specific, it's a DEMU. It's a diesel electric. So even though it is diesel powered, it has all the sort of bells and whistles of an electric loco. Which is a good job because, yeah, if we were using an electric loco, it would have to be one using the third rail, which doesn't supply anything like the kind of power that yeah, a high-speed train needs. So we are about to be able to go to 40. There we go. So we'll take it up to notch 3. We don't need any more than that until we are in the 75 section, We've passed the start of it. Obviously, we have to wait for the entire train to enter it before we can actually go up to that speed. Like now. So Preston Park is the first station, which we will just be speeding through. So let's slow down our acceleration rate a little bit while we are going through there. So here we are, Preston Park, very small station there. You can go up to notch 2. And right. So 90 mph section starting in 1.5 miles. That I am pretty sure is the fastest we'll be able to do on this entire line. So yeah, this is a route that is usually run by EMUs and DEMUs, and well, I mean this is a DEMU, but not exactly the kind that you would normally find on this route. And even though, yeah, its top speed is limited by the speed limits of the route itself, its acceleration is far better than the rather sort of standard EMUs that run this route. So I'm fairly sure we will be able to do this a lot quicker than in the previous video where I did this route. That was one of Jim Play's requests. I think it was. And in that one, yeah, we were in just a very old bog standard EMU then. So yeah, in terms of how long it will take, this will be way ahead. Okay, so unfortunately when we do power down, we lose speed at quite a rate, despite the fact that we are on a downhill section of track. I mean, it is only a 1 in 272, so it's not a huge amount. But, nevertheless, I thought we would increase speed rather than lose it, or at the very least maintain the speed. Yeah, while travelling through the tunnels, the noise from this thing is considerable, which is stark contrast to its normal running, because this, as you I'm sure have already heard, is quite a quiet running thing. I mean, there is an awful lot of soundproofing within the cab, the same as with a lot of modern EMUs and even modern locos. So we are now speeding through Hassocks station. Hassocks always, to me, sounds like it should be in Scotland. I think that's because of the Trossachs. Okay, so next station is coming up pretty quickly, Burgess Hill. So the light is still somewhat reasonable. But let's face it, we know the light is only going to get worse, so... Some more exterior shots as we approach Burgess Hill station. We'll power up a bit. Looks like 373 is in the station there. Actually, it can't have been a 373 unless that's a dual power mode train. I mean, it did look like one. I wasn't sure that they were dual power though. Just because I'm not sure doesn't mean that no, they're definitely not. So we'll stick with the exterior views as we approach Wivelsfield. Another rather small station. Okay, let's get some speed back up. Lost about 6 mph there. Oh, that was close. It very nearly started speeding. Haywards Heath, next station in about 1.5 miles. Now, what I was saying on the intro page there about yeah, being able to choose routes that are, you know, involve connecting, you know, more than one route together. I don't think it will surprise anyone to hear that I have something very much along those lines in mind myself. So that section that I was missing, that meant I couldn't do the London to Darlington initial request, which is the Peterborough to York section. That's the one I don't have. I will be getting it, and once I have it, I will be doing not a video but a live stream of the London to Edinburgh route. The only thing that I am not sure about is what train I will be driving for that route, so I will I'm not going to do it yet because you know it's a good 2 or 3 months in the future, but I will put up a poll on my channel, so you'll get the chance to vote for the train that you would want to see making that trip. I can tell you the options. They will be the class 221 that we're in now, or the class 91, or the class 801, or the class 370. So they will be your options. So if you're interested in seeing that, well, you don't need to start thinking about which one, you know, which train you'd want to see, because yeah, so it's about 2 or 3 months off yet, but that's what I've got in mind anyway. So next station is Balcombe, which is about half a mile away, and just as with before, we will just be thundering straight through there. We can already see that the light is starting to fade even more. So here we are, Balcombe Station. So we have a speed reduction coming up to 80 mph, so we'll coast up to that, and hopefully we will lose enough speed so that we won't need to brake. It's not looking very likely, but we'll give it a try anyway. Yeah, okay, yeah, we will definitely be, in fact, we'll probably need to throttle up a bit, because I don't want to be too much below 80 mph. Pretty soon we'll be back into the regular 90 mph, so we can actually go right the way up to notch 4 for that one, albeit not for long, but at least we'll be able to use it. I was hoping we would not have to notch down, but yeah, we did. So Three Bridges station next. Yeah, I must admit I was quite pleasantly surprised when I saw this request, because lately I've been getting quite a few that involve driving locos that, well, I wouldn't go so far as to say I don't like them, but I just find them a bit boring. So, you know, stuff like the 150, the 156, the 158, I'm not exactly sort of like, you know, a huge fan of those. And yeah, there have been several requests lately where I'm driving one of those, and I know that there is one coming up, although if he who was going to be making that request is watching this video now, he might, actually no, he won't change his mind, he'll still have me driving a 158. So, you know, it's not that I don't like EMUs, DEMUs and what have you. I mean, I'm driving one now. But I like the right sort of EMUs and DEMUs, and sprinters are not the right ones. Pacers even less so, but thankfully I've not actually had any requests for those yet. So Gatwick Airport is coming up, less than a mile away. Is one of the incoming flights. And of course, yeah, with Gatwick Airport coming up, Hawley is very close to it, as it always is. It's not like it's ever going to move, so... So, here we are at Gatwick Airport station. And we'll stick with the exterior views as we approach Hawley station. Sounds like an aircraft, another aircraft coming in. I couldn't see it, so bollocks to it. Couldn't see what that loco was either, but that was entirely due to the light getting worse. So here is Hawley station. Right, let's get some speed though. I've lost 10 mph here. So, London Victoria is 25.5 miles. According to the ETA, we'll be doing that in half an hour. In half an hour, the light is going to be so bad, I'm going to be practically in the dark. I do already have the cab light on, you see. Now, I must admit, this was not my first choice loco. In fact, I did have a completely different route selected before Lightheworld came along and said, okay, yeah, we'll have Brighton to London. It's probably just as well that he did, because the loco that I originally chose, I'm not going to say what it was, but I cannot find the cab light or the instrument lights for it. And looking around at things like reviews for that particular DLC, and you know, YouTube reviews of it and everything else, it really does look like it doesn't have one, which is, to put it mildly, far from ideal. So we have 80 mph max speed decrease coming up in under a mile. And even though we've got a bit of a climb coming up, I very much doubt we're going to lose 7 mph just from coasting, so we will need to brake a little bit. It is only for a short section before we can then go back to 90 again. There we go. I mean, even that short bit, and I hope it is the braking. Well, I can certainly see why the speed decreased. Quite a sharp corner into this tunnel. Short tunnel, but now we can go back up to 90, so yeah, take it right the way up to Notch 4. Again, just very nearly speeding there. That looked very much like a 158 right there. But yeah, when it comes to train choices, if you know, I get any requests and it's they leave the choice of train to me, I will nearly always choose an actual locomotive over a multiple unit. We really do lose speed at quite a rate here. Yeah, I overdid it that time. Section, but still losing speed, which does surprise me. We're on a 1 in 150 descent. I felt certain we would gain speed on that. Nope. No. I mean, we lost over 7 mph there, so... I mean, there's nowhere on this route where we're coming even close to, you know, requiring the full power of this thing. Now that yellow, I think, is for, yeah, it's for the line next to us. Oh, fucking hell, done it again. Yeah, I think in order to stop me from any more speedings, I'm going to have to, yeah, accelerate just in notch 1. So So we're not accelerating at a particularly fast rate, but I mean it's not like we're just crawling along anyway. So we're now 15 miles from London, Victoria. So, Purley Station, half a mile. Purley Oaks is less than 1.5 miles. So, yeah, you certainly see where it has got noticeably darker compared to what it was like when we set off. So there is Purley Station. So when you leave that station, does that mean you walk through the Purley gates? It's better than the quip I made last time I was here. Might as well stick with the exterior view as we approach Purley Oaks. Yeah, it's quite a small station, that one. I just spotted that. Yeah, we've got a 60 mph speed decrease coming up. Easily breaking time, but yeah, as always, I really overdid the braking. So here we are in the 60 mph section. Here comes South Croydon station. I am having to brake slightly because, yeah, we've got quite a few more speed decreases coming up. Okay, so we'll be fine for the 45, but then just as we approach East Croydon station, we are having to go down to 30. I mean, I'm braking way too early. We're still as near as damn it half a mile away from the 30 mph section. So yeah, that's so now we'll be fine as we go through East Croydon. So half a train length before we can then get up to 45 again, and then I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do 60. We probably won't need to throttle down. There we go. So Selhurst is next, just half a mile away. Selhurst depot will be around there somewhere, and as I always mention, Crystal Palace football ground. So we are picking up speed now, but yeah, it had to be a 1 in 122 before we started picking up speed from going downhill. So yeah, that was Selhurst and Thornton Heath, just half a mile further along the line. What am I doing? I can still speed up. Thornton Heath, done and done, and Norbury just another mile along the line. And then we have Streatham, is it Streatham Common, a mile and a half from where we are now. So this is Norbury Station. Yeah. Couldn't even get the whole train on that platform. And I suspect the same will apply to Streatham Common here as well. So London Victoria is now just 7 miles away. I just realised, yeah, we got 60 mph section coming up. I mean, the brakes on this thing are that good that, yeah, I actually had no problem braking for it, despite the fact that I didn't do anything until, well, I thought it was far too late, but yeah, no problem. So Balham Station next in about a mile and a quarter. Wandsworth Common, yeah, very soon after that. no shortage of signals around this particular stretch of the line. Pretty sure we're going to have greens all the way. Yeah, that red is not for us. I think that was a 319 that we just went past. Anyway, here we are at Balham Station. Wandsworth Common, less than half a mile up the line. Actually gaining speed there. Didn't gain it for very long, but at least there was a section where it was happening. Anyway, that was Wandsworth Common Station. So Clapham Junction coming up in 1 mile. And then we have a 45 mph limit not long after passing through Clapham Junction, and then we have a fairly steep uphill section. So we can just keep coasting through here. We may still need to apply brakes before the 45 mph section. So here we are at Clapham Junction. I think that was a 422. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to brake. Not much, but there you go. Still overdone slightly. This uphill section doesn't look like it's going to be too much of a hassle. I think, yeah, this is the section that actually takes us off towards Victoria. If we carried on the route we were on, I think that would have taken us to either Blackfriars or Cannon Street. Probably Blackfriars. Yeah, 1 in 84 uphill. No wonder our speed has really come down. So we'll keep coasting through Battersea. 40 mph section coming up. Well, if we coast, I thought we would get drop below 40, but looks like we may need to brake very slightly. It looks like we've got some yellow signals coming up, which is not surprising. There we go. So now we're slow enough, but we have the 20 mph section coming up. Yeah, pretty soon after this, so don't need to brake hard. So it should be single yellow here. Yep, it is. Oh, that was a fuck up there. All that time trying to avoid speeding. I think that might be the first speeding error actually of this run. There we are, platform 17 of London Victoria station. Right, now we're on 17. Try and get the whole train on the platform. Manage this no problem. Yeah, there we go. So there we are, one express run from Brighton back to London in the class 221 DEMU. And okay, there was very little light left by the time we got here, but I think we managed to get here just before it actually did get dark, so yep, I think that one went pretty well. Yeah, it's good driving. I like the London-Brighton route, and even though the chances are this particular train would never actually do this route, I thought it was a pretty good one to use. Like it even more if I was able to get the 125 mph out of it, but yeah, certainly not going to happen if you are approaching London from the south coast. So that is that one done. Let's take a look at how we did. Okay, so 3 speeding errors. So yeah, that last one on the approach to Victoria wasn't the only one, so I'm not so fussed about that now. There we go. That was a good one. That I enjoyed that one. So if you have a request, either loco or route or both or whatever it is, then just click on the link in the description. Don't just write it in a comment here, because I'm just not going to do it. And then yeah, bung your request in the comments of that video and it will get done. That I can guarantee. Okay, we shall see you on the next one.